Or we're gonna start with that pec stretch. So check the rib cage, make sure it's not arched. Take a couple breaths, start to feel the front of that pec open up. You don't want to really feel this in the shoulder joint. You want more of that muscle coming across. Take a couple breaths, and then we're gonna ramp up by 1, pressing 2, pressing harder, 3, pressing harder, 4. By the time you get to 5, you're pressing pretty hard. Relax. I'm gonna drive my chest forward, feeling a little bit more intense stretch, but my body's giving me that range of motion. Take some big breaths into that belly. 3 breaths. Then I'm going to ramp up, pressing nice and lightly, slowly building the intensity, pressing into the corner of the wall, the pole, building up to a 5, pressing as hard as I can, and then relax, going a little bit deeper. So I really want to make sure I keep the shoulder in the joint here. I'm not letting it slide forward. I'm keeping my scap and shoulder blade pinched back. Take a couple breaths once again in this new range, and then third time, final time, I'm going to press. 3, 2, 1, pressing as hard as I can, and then I relax. Okay, from there I'm going to go a little bit more in that catch position, almost like a 45-degree angle. Set up so I feel that stretch. Breathe into it. Try and not shy away from the tightness, but kind of find the tightness. So just pay attention to your head posture. Now I'm going to pull down and press into the wall as if I'm in the top of my catch position swimming, or trying to pull down on top of a ball, throwing a baseball. And I'm ramping up, building intensity, trying to feel the back of my scap as well. And then I relax and I dive just a little bit deeper. And it's just either relaxing tension or actually taking a little bit more room, moving forward just a couple millimeters. Trying to breathe, find some comfort in this new range. And I'm going to press for 1, 2, 3, and relax. 3 breaths, and then 3 times I'm going to ramp. So here we go. Pressing lightly, pressing harder, harder, digging my fingertips in, my palm, my wrist, my forearm, and then relax. All right, I'm going to shake it out. So front of the pec, let's go ahead and get the back of the shoulder. Whatever palm is up, so right palm is up, is going to go over. I want you to start a little bit closer. Maybe I don't feel much, and then I get my hands a little bit further. So by working my hands further apart, I should start to feel that stretch, not in the front. You don't want to feel anything in the front of the joint. We want to feel a stretch in the back. We're looking for a posterior shoulder cuff stretch. Try not to let that shoulder rise up in the air. So if you're looking in the mirror, both shoulders stay even. You really feel in that stretch, just small little adjustments. We'll go about 10 to 12 reps. Coming up and over, holding. Trying to let go of that tension in the back of the shoulder, making some room. Just slowly finding that perfect point where my hands are so far apart that I feel a good stretch in the back of the shoulder, not so much that the shoulder's coming up into the ear. Okay, from there, I'm going to grab my kettlebell. I'm going to start in this fetal position with 2 hands on the bell. I press it up. From here, whatever arm is up, same leg is up, it's going to come over. I'm going to breathe out. Big breath in. Try and wring out that spine a little bit more. I'm going to reach the bell up. At this point, I'm looking for this perfect balance point. So right here, everything is not in good alignment. I'm going to bring my chest forward just a little bit, and I'll start to feel my scap open up, and I'll almost get into that same position when I was getting a nice pec stretch. So I'm getting some scap activation. My knee is up at my belly button, and then I'm going to breathe out. Big breath in, breathe out again, and twist through that upper spine. So I go from this activation, finding that balance point where everything gets sucked into the joints, and then I breathe out, and I can have my knees, both knees up at 90 or single, doesn't really matter as long as they're up in my belly button to lock in my lumbar, and then I breathe out, feeling that stretch through my upper spine, okay? Couple options depending on how heavy the kettlebell is. Pretty light one like this, I might want to start here. I might want to pin it to my shoulder to intensify that stretch in the upper spine, or I might want to go bottoms up, create a little bit more stability. It's that balance point right here. I don't feel much. As soon as I bring my chest away, I have a straight line from the bell down into my shoulder, and then I breathe out. So we're looking for mobility and activation. We're gonna go both sides here. Once again, knees up at 90. Breathe out. Big breath in, breathe out. Wring out that upper spine. We're coming up. Find that balance point. Fire up that scap. 1, 2, and breathe out. Breathing in. Big breath in. Breathe out. Trying to intensify that stretch a little bit more. Coming forward. Keep going. 2 more. Once again, option. Bell could come up into that shoulder and help open up that spine even more if needed. Okay, so here's your kettlebell arm bars. So that's taking care of the shoulder cuff. Let's go ahead, let's work that thoracic spine now. You're gonna start, elbows right at your shoulders. You're gonna drive your elbows forward. So as if I'm moving my whole body like so, I'm going to pull my elbows down. I'm gonna lift through my upper spine. So just like we bow through that upper spine, we don't want this happening through the low back. Drive through the elbows and try and extend through the upper spine, in between the shoulder blades, maybe feeling a little bit of a pinch. Now start from the low back, so I'm driving in between the shoulder blades, up, 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 and the last thing to come up is my head, trying to keep my neck neutral and not dumping into that arch in the low neck, in the upper cervical neck. So from here, I'm really pushing the ground away while driving my elbows into the ground. Breathing up into that Sphinx pose. So that'll be that upper spine. And from there, we're just gonna go into getting that neck integrated in. We'll do some nice, easy chin tucks and neck lifts and hold. So I wanna combine that in with my dead bugs, pressing that hand into the knee. I shouldn't be able to lift that up because I'm applying pressure in both directions. Knee into the hand into the knee. Same time, I'm really trying to press that low back into the ground. And from that point, I'm gonna roll over. I'm gonna get a little bit of that downward dog work. Once again, I keep both knees bent, reach my hips back. So I'm trying to push the ground away, get my ears next to my biceps, try and feel that arch through the upper spine. I bend my elbows and then screw out, getting the eyes of my elbows to point forward. Feet are nice and wide. At the same time, I'm gripping the ground with my fingertips. So I screw out through my upper arms, fingertips press into the ground, touch the back of my head. Switch arms, touch the back of my head. Switch arms, touch the back of my head. So that would be real basics. If I wanted to add in a little bit of those hip lifts, I can add in some hip lifts. I could even integrate in half Turkish get up. So if I go left leg down, left arm reaches up. So my right arm is straight, my right leg is straight. If I were to switch sides, left leg straight, left arm is straight. If this knee is bent, this elbow is bent, I'm gonna drive through that heel, open on up those hips. All right, so any of this screwing out sensation, this side plank, that kettlebell, this half Turkish get up, we want to be screwing out and creating some activation in those scaps. There's some shoulder care.